She sees you before she hears you, before you say a single word, before you crack a joke, flex your wallet, or even introduce yourself. Her brain has already made a decision about you. And here's the thing, women don't even realize they're doing it. It's instinct. It's biology. It's survival. 1,000 years of evolution have trained women to scan faster, to judge quicker, and to decide almost instantly if a man is worth their attention, their trust, or their time. Now, most men believe it's the obvious stuff. The size of your muscles, the thickness of your wallet, the sharpness of your jawline. But that's not what makes the first impact. Those things come later. What actually grabs her attention, what really makes her body and brain lean forward, are the silent signals, the details you don't think about, the body parts you overlook. And trust me, they're not the ones you've been taught to obsess over. They're not the gym-built biceps, not the six-pack abs, not even the tailored suit or the expensive shoes. No, it's 3 hidden, unexpected body parts that send messages louder than any word you'll ever say. These 3 parts of you reveal your confidence, your stability, your strength. They tell her if you are a man she can trust, a man she can lean on, a man she can relax around. They answer the question she doesn't ask out loud but always feels inside. Is this man safe? Is this man grounded? Is this man real? Miss these signals and you disappear. You become just another guy in the background, invisible before you even get a chance. But when you master them, when you learn how to let these hidden parts of your body do the talking, you won't have to try so hard. You won't have to force it because she'll feel it before you even open your mouth. This isn't about tricks. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. This is about alignment, about showing up as the man. You already are only clearer, stronger, more intentional. So today, I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm going to show you exactly which 3 body parts women notice first, why they matter, and what they reveal about you. By the end of this, you'll understand why some men command attention without saying a word, and how you can, too, before you speak, before you move, your eyes are already speaking for you. And what they say can either pull her closer or push her away. Most men think eye contact is just about staring, about holding it long enough to seem confident, or breaking it at the right time to seem polite. But that's surface level. The truth runs deeper. The eyes don't just look. They reveal, they project, they betray. The human brain, without effort, reads microexpressions in less than 3 seconds. Think about that. In 3 seconds, she already knows something about you that you haven't said. She sees whether you're steady or shaky, whether you're grounded or hiding. And here's the key. Women, more than men, are wired to scan for this biologically. Women have always needed to evaluate quickly. Is this man safe? Is he stable? Can he protect? Can he connect? Can he lead? That instinct is still alive today. So when she looks into your eyes, she isn't looking for aggression. She isn't looking for coldness. She isn't even looking for intensity. She's looking for one thing: certainty. Certainty is calm. Certainty is presence. Certainty is the gaze of a man who doesn't need to pretend, a man who isn't chasing approval, a man who is simply there, comfortable in his own skin, rooted in his own energy. That gaze is magnetic. Science backs this up. Studies from Princeton and the University of Toronto prove that eye contact increases perceptions of trustworthiness, dominance, and emotional intelligence. 3 traits women instinctively desire in a partner, not because society told them to, but because biology designed them to. And the opposite is true as well. Shifty eyes, a distracted gaze, eyes that dart around the room, searching for escape. What does that say, fear? Insecurity, avoidance. She doesn't just notice it, she feels it in her body. It creates tension, distance, distrust. That's why some men without perfect looks, without height, without a Hollywood face, can walk into a room and command attention. It's not magic, it's presence. And presence begins with the eyes. Here's the shocking part: sexual attraction isn't the first thing a woman looks for. It's safety, not just physical safety, but emotional safety. Can she relax around you? Can she trust that your words match your energy? Can she be seen without feeling watched? Your eyes answer that question before your lips ever part. That's why a pornified stare backfires. That's why an overly intense gaze feels threatening. But a steady, relaxed, deeply observant gaze, that is intoxicating. Because it doesn't just say you're looking at her body, it says you're reading her soul. The eyes don't lie. They reveal whether you're connected to yourself, because no woman will trust a man who cannot even face his own reflection. So if you want her attention, stop trying to be sexy. Stop trying to force charm. Instead, be seen, be present, and let your eyes speak. The words your mouth could never capture. A man's hands, one of the most underestimated signals of attraction. Most men ignore them. But women notice them almost immediately. Not because they're big or strong, not because of veins or calluses. No, it goes deeper. To a woman, your hands speak volumes about who you are, how you live, and how you treat the people around you. Think about it. Throughout history, a man's hands have always been his tools of survival. They build, they protect, they comfort, or they destroy. And whether you realize it or not, your hands are sending messages every second you use them. Are your hands tense, clenched, restless? That tells her you're anxious, stressed, maybe even dangerous. Are they relaxed, open, intentional? That tells her you're grounded, you're steady, you're safe. Science proves this. Research published in Psychological Science found that the human brain prioritizes hands when assessing trust. Why? Because the hands can either welcome or wound. The moment she sees your hands, she knows, consciously or subconsciously, whether she can let her guard down. And it doesn't stop there. Your hands reveal the way you live. Are your nails clean, trimmed, cared for, or are they neglected, dirty, forgotten to you? It might not matter. To her, it matters deeply. Because if you can't care for yourself, how can you possibly care for her? Here's the truth. It's not about perfection. It's not about manicured hands or expensive products. It's about what your hands say. Do they say discipline? Do they say intention? Do they say, I know who I am and I know how to handle what matters? There's also a deeper layer: sensuality. Women associate hands with touch, not fantasy, but sensitivity, a firm but gentle grip, a confident but non-forceful touch. These are subtle signs of emotional control, and emotional control is rare. It tells her you're not reactive. You're not insecure. You're not desperate. You're present And presence is always attractive. Neglect, on the other hand, is never attractive. Rough, unkempt, dirty hands whisper neglect. They whisper, I don't care enough. And women feel that instantly. So remember, your hands aren't just tools, they are signals. They tell her whether you're reckless or intentional, whether you value yourself or ignore yourself. And women don't just want to be held, they want to be held by a man whose hands say, you matter, I matter, this moment matters. Before she hears your words, before she even notices the details of your face, she feels the shape of your presence. And that begins with posture. You could have the body of an athlete, the face of a movie star, the clothes of a king. But if you carry yourself like you don't matter, she will believe you. If you shrink into the background, if you fold inward, if your body says, I don't belong, then no amount of charm will cover it. Posture is not just physical, it's psychological. It's the way your body tells the world what you believe about yourself. Do you own your space or do you retreat from it? Do you walk with purpose or do you drift without direction? Women notice instantly. Studies from Harvard University on power posing prove it. A slouched posture lowers testosterone and raises cortisol. It makes you less confident, more anxious, less present. But an open, upright stance boosts dominance hormones, lowers stress hormones, and sends a signal of calm certainty. That signal, she feels it before you even say hello. Your body is either collapsing into insecurity or rising into self-worth. And trust me, she can feel the difference. But posture is only half the story. Because once you open your mouth, your voice takes over. Long before language existed, voice was the first form of connection. And to this day, tone, depth, and rhythm carry more weight than the words themselves. Science confirms it. A study published in Biology Letters found that women are more attracted to men with lower-pitched voices, not because they sound sexy, but because they subconsciously signal maturity, strength, and stability. But here's the secret. It's not about forcing your voice lower. That feels fake. That feels performative. The real attraction comes from resonance, the calm, grounded sound of a man who is in control of himself. Fast, high, anxious tones send one clear message, I need your approval. But a slow, steady, resonant voice sends a very different message, I am enough. Your voice doesn't just say words. It says presence. It says stability. It says, you are safe here. And safety is the gateway to attraction. So remember this. Posture speaks before you open your mouth. Voices speaks after. Together, they tell her whether you believe in yourself or not. And in a world full of men trying to prove they matter, the one who simply carries himself like he does will always stand out. Most men think grooming is optional. Something you do when you have a big job interview, something you do for a wedding, or maybe that first date you've been waiting on. But here's the truth. Grooming isn't optional. Grooming is a silent messenger. It speaks before you do. It speaks louder than your clothes, louder than your watch, louder than any cologne you put on. Grooming says one thing very clearly, how much you value yourself. Your skin is the largest organ of your body. It's living, it's breathing, It reflects what's going on inside. Dry, cracked, oily, neglected skin doesn't just look bad, it communicates something deeper. Neglect, lack of discipline, lack of consistency. It whispers that if you can't even take care of yourself, how will you take care of anything else? And women notice immediately. On the other hand, when your skin is cared for, when it's clean, healthy, moisturize it, it doesn't scream vanity. It whispers something far more powerful. It says you are disciplined. It says you are intentional. It says you respect yourself enough to show up well. The same goes for your hair. For your nails, for the details most men dismiss. Because here's the secret. Women see the details. They always do. And those little details create an impression that lasts long after you leave the room. Psychologically, grooming is linked to emotional availability and social intelligence. When a man puts effort into his grooming, not out of insecurity, but out of dignity, it shows. He understands energy. He understands that how he presents himself isn't about ego, it's about respect. Respect for himself, respect for the people around him, and respect for the spaces he enters. Neglect, on the other hand, sends the opposite message. Unkempt beards, dirty nails, messy hair, greasy skin. These are not neutral. They are signals that say, I don't care enough. And no woman will ever feel inspired by a man who doesn't even care for himself. This isn't about being a polished model. It isn't about spending hours in the mirror. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing to honor yourself in the small, quiet ways that build presence. Because grooming is not about appearance, it's about energy. And energy doesn't lie. So remember this. Your grooming is speaking for you, whether you want it to or not. It's telling her if you respect yourself, if you have discipline, if you have standards, and a man with standards will always stand out. So here's the truth. Attraction isn't about perfection. It isn't about having the tallest body in the room, the deepest pockets, or the sharpest jawline. It's about presence. It's about the signals you give off before you ever say a word. Your eyes reveal your certainty. They show whether you're grounded, steady, and connected to yourself. Your hands reveal your intention. They tell her whether you live with care, discipline, and self-respect. Your posture and your voice reveal your presence. They project whether you believe in yourself or whether you're hiding. And your grooming reveals your standards. It tells her if you honor yourself or if you've let yourself go. These things may seem small, but together, they create a powerful message. They say, this is a man who knows himself. This is a man who values himself. This is a man worth noticing. Because at the end of the day, attraction is not about tricks or tactics. It's not about faking confidence or performing masculinity. It's about alignment. When your body, your energy, and your presence all say the same thing. I am enough. I know who I am, and I live with intention that is irresistible. Women don't just want a man who looks good. They want a man who feels good to be around, a man they can trust, a man who makes them feel safe, seen, and understood. So stop chasing perfection. Start embodying presence. Straighten your back, steady your eyes, care for your hands, strengthen your voice, respect your grooming, Because when you carry yourself like you matter, the world will believe you, and so will she. Your presence does the talking. Let it speak loudly.